Hey guys, what's going on? It is TomK655 here, and this is just a quick demo of sort of a little bit of a VR project that I've been working on the past sort of few days after I finish work. I'm still working during this coronavirus pandemic, so sort of after I finish, in my evenings once I've had tea and stuff, I've been just sort of working on this for a few nights now. And the first thing I started off with is flight. That took me a couple of nights to sort of get down to make it sort of work better, to make it sort of feel more natural and to improve it. But I'll finish with that. I'll start with the sort of heads-up display that you can see here. So to start with, I've just got a basic compass and altitude meter, and this sort of flying degrees. I don't know what you call them. Sort of pitch indicator. I don't really know what the word is. But yeah, so you can obviously see currently that is north, so if I turn that way, I'm facing east, that way west, and that way south. I'll show you the altitude meter as I obviously fly. And yeah, you can see that sort of flying level, that's 22.5 degrees down, 45 degrees, 77.5 degrees, and 90, and the same going up. I've literally thrown this bit together in the past sort of half an hour, and the compass and the altitude meter has all been this evening, so this is all the sort of rough and ready stuff, and then I'll make it sort of look better and work nicer a bit later on. But like I said, the big thing that I've been going for is flight. So you have individual direction control and thrust control on each hand, pushing away from your palm like his pulsers do. Repulsors, sorry. So if I put my right hand out and press on my right touchpad, I push away from it. And the same with my left hand, push away. Now, one hand isn't enough to actually get lift, but if I use both hands and start off with a low thrust, you can see my character is lifting up. I'm really happy that it's not actually as discombobulating as I thought it would be. I thought it would really mess me up, but honestly, once you get your head around it, your body, or at least mine, can handle it quite well. And you can obviously see my altitude meter is changing, so yeah, it's going up slowly. I'm pondering making that multiplied though, so it feels like you're flying higher. Because right now it feels like I'm a lot higher than 5 meters up, but yeah, we'll see. So as I said, sort of individual hand control. So my right hand, my left hand is currently thrusting down. If I push with my right hand, you can see that that's providing me with directional control. And yeah, you can do that in all degrees you want. If I push all the way to the top of my touchpad, I have full thrust. I did initially have a problem where if you fell too fast, your hand thrust wouldn't be enough to stop you, but I've now limited the player velocity to hopefully counteract that. But should you have any issues while you're using the touchpads, you can also press the grip buttons to give you additional thrust, just to sort of counteract those problems. But yeah, it works pretty well. And then if I go towards the bottom of my touchpad, I sort of get a nice controlled sort of descent and land. So originally I also had another issue where the touchpad on the Vive controller maps from -1 to 1. I had to edit that to map from 0.4 to 0.8, so you got a 0.4 range on the thrust multiplier, and that just gives you much finer control. Beforehand, you were going from literally nothing at all thrust-wise to a hell of a lot of thrust in sort of a very short distance, whereas now you have much more finesse. You have sort of a better minimum thrust, which automatically gives you lift as soon as you go from the bottom of the touchpad upwards. So it's much better, much more refined. Still a bit patchy there, as you can see. I'm still trying to get used to it, but I just need to tweak those values a little bit, because this should give you a nice controlled descent right here, and I think it's a little bit slow to respond, but overall it works pretty well and I'm quite impressed with it. But my next thing is fine-tune the flying even more, expand the HUD so that you got more flight information, maybe like wind direction, weather. I know they won't actually affect flight as such, but I think it's just cool to sort of have these sort of elements included in a flight mode. And beyond that, it's I'm going to have multiple modes. So this is all currently in flight mode. I can't really do quotes, but flight mode. Um, I'm then going to have combat mode, general mode, where it's just sort of normal, statistics on the suit and stuff, battery capacity and all that stuff. And then I'm going to have a combat mode where it obviously picks out civilians and enemies. It gives you your targeting reticules, gives you sort of all your weapons choices and all that stuff. But my immediate one is going to actually be repulsor blasts. So potentially while flying, you can, because currently I'm just touching my trackpads. I'm planning that if you press and hold them down, that then fires the relevant hand, and you can hold it for a second or two to charge up and then release a stronger blast. But yeah, that's all I've got for the minute. But I just thought it's a sort of fun little project to keep my mind occupied, keeps me programming, and it keeps me sane while obviously this whole pandemic's going on. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope you found this even a bit interesting. But goodbye. Thanks for watching. Oh, sweaty.